We're just going to have us a little bit of an honest moment right now because I have attempted to record, I would say, a minimum of 3 or 4 times for today. First, I wanted to talk about the movie Michael, but not just the movie, also the idea and feelings of ambivalence that a person can have given his history of abuse. I know that at least one thing he was acquitted of, but he was still also accused. And I'm certainly of the mindset that where there's smoke, there's fire. Um, then there is, I thought, oh, I could have a conversation about that breakup video that I did yesterday, specifically talking about the song, If This Is Love by Xavier. I don't know. I'll put it here somewhere. And just to talk about the themes in that song and why it's a song that I think of as a breakup song, but especially because, he's talking about what if this is love, then I don't want it. Right. And it's such a great song. So I started to prepare for that, but I wasn't really feeling it. And then I went from that to, oh, okay, we can have the conversation about who's allowed to be assertive and have more of a colorism conversation. Or even I could talk about my dissertation, or really there were multiple options and none of them feel quite right in my body today. And so I decided I give up. Let's do the intro real quick. And welcome back to another episode of The Daily Donna with me, your host, Dr. Donna Oriowo, sex and relationship therapist in the Washington, D.C. metro area, author of Drink Water and Mind Your Business, a Black woman's guide to unlearning the BS and healing self-esteem. I am in a space of consistently unlearning the BS too. And part of the BS that I am having to unlearn is the idea that just because you desire it means that you should have it at that very moment. I am all about trying, working, doing, thinking, being, offering space. And I tend to do it more for other people than I do for myself. From myself, I expect excellence. I expect for me to do good work. And I expect to be a little bit more than passingly academic. Somebody sent me a text to let me know that, hey, something I realized about you, you tend to lean into the academic space. And I didn't even know that I was doing that until it was said, which is, it's like unlocking this whole other thing. Like I knew I felt more comfortable in the academic, but I didn't think that I was using it in any other way. Like more like, oh, when I do therapy, not anywhere else. But apparently a girl is academic, so she's gonna sit in that. Um, at least for what the conversation was then. Anyway, I digress. The point is that today, in attempting to record this video anyway, what I was ignoring is that my body is saying no. And it's one of those things that I talk about, like self-consent. And for additional context, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, but it is also Masturbation May. And part of I think that one of the missing things when we talk about masturbation is there's an assumption that just because all part of you desires, that all parts of you desire. And that's not true. Self-consent is also important. It helps the work to flow with more synergy. It helps you to be able to find the path forward without it feeling like there is so much resistance. And I am also of the mindset, and maybe this is an erroneous mindset to have, but mind you, this is mine. It doesn't have to be yours. I believe that all things come to me pretty easy because it's been true for my life. A lot of things come pretty easy. Now, that's not to say that some things are not hard fought, hard won, but it is to say that where it comes to intellectual prowess, the the ability to understand a concept and to simply explain a concept in a way that other people can understand, that's easy, right? And while I wouldn't say that in the moment I am struggling to figure out how to say what I want to say, I think I'm more in the space of I don't want to. I don't want to. I know what I want to do, and that is to have a conversation, not to do yet another video where I'm just talking to you and maybe 20 of you watch it, right? And if you are a person who is consistently watching the videos, shout out to you, and go ahead and make yourself known in the comment section. Go ahead and put a little unicorn or something for me. But I think that one of the things that I am still having to unlearn is this idea that, like a parent forcing a child into pantyhose, that I'm allowed to keep fighting with me in this way. It's not good. It's not safe. It doesn't feel sane. It feels like trying to make me do something that I know I don't want to do, that I know I'm not in the space to do, that I know I'm not in the mindset to do, and that will ultimately come out feeling as forced as it was. Like in the end, you both come out sweaty, and now you're both upset with each other, right? It's kind of like, is that the way that I want the thing to feel? No. I started this as a challenge to myself, right? This 100 days of daily posting on YouTube. It was to get to know myself in this medium, particularly in this format, in like the long form, in the long video format, because I'd gotten so used to distilling and cutting everything down and, trying to stick to that 3 minutes. And while, you can get good at it, and I'm not saying that it's not a good skill to have, to be able to summarize something down so quickly, or to distill it down to the essentials, I would say that a lot is lost in the art of watching someone pontificate, that something is lost in watching how someone constructs, sort of builds to a point, and how a point can reoccur, how it can constantly be coming back, looping back in on itself while still pushing and propelling you forward. And that is one of the main things that I feel like I've learned with having 100-day YouTube series, that you can watch me grow in real time. And I think that's actually kind of amazing, because if you go back and you watch the first video, which still doesn't have a cover, I think I was talking about like that quote, jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. A quote that we only ever tell a portion of and have the dead opposite meaning. You watch it up until the first time I did commentary on something in media or something that I was seeing outside. You sort of watch me push forward right until this very moment, where the last few videos were about colorism. And I'll be honest that colorism is my specialty, and something that I don't talk about as much on the internet, because almost every single time I talk about it, somebody's in my face telling me that it must mean that I'm jealous, or that I see my own shortcomings. Number one, I'm looking like shortcomings. Who, me? Not me. I'm looking like, please, my shortcomings are tall. I have tall comings. They're big, they're grand, they're delightful, they're delusional, and they're still delightful. But like, the idea that I think it's that first daughter, firstborn, first gen, eldest daughter energy that sort of consistently is propelling me to do, and to do it better, faster, stronger, right? And that it is part of a constant and continued unlearning on my part. It's part of the reason why I am taking a sabbatical. And, just, I'm calling it, a little summer break, a little summertime fine, just the month of July and a little bit of August. 6 weeks to discover what could be, to discover what's missing, right? And doing the artist way, hopefully to some level of fidelity, with their daily writing and their artist dates and all this other stuff. I think that it could be great to spend some time thinking about what it means to be creative, because I don't consider myself a creative. I don't consider myself a content creator, despite the fact that I create content. I consider myself a therapist who creates content, not a content creating therapist. And I think there is a difference. So I wanted to give me more room today. I needed more room for my humanity today. I needed more room to allow myself space to not do anything more than what I was willing to do. And besides, it wasn't really working anyway, right? So instead, I am going to watch The Devil Wears Prada. I am going to go back and watch this TV show Surface on Apple TV. I don't know if y'all watched that. I'm on season 1. I watched the first 2 episodes. I'm just like, girl, stressed. I'm going to keep reading Nasty Work by Erica Hart. I'm also going to keep reading I, Medusa by Ayana Grayson. I'm making up names now. I am I'm going to do those things and see what tomorrow brings. So I hope that you also spend some time being a little bit more kind to yourself. And maybe we can both work harder on undoing the thing that tells us to produce, and that all production must be at the same or higher level each time. Sometimes the best that you have is the best that you got for the day. And that means that today, you may get 70% Donna, but tomorrow, maybe 90% me, 100% me will come back. But today I ain't got it. Today I just need a little bit more fun. I need to go outside, feel the breeze, have some sunshine, eat an expensive hamburger at a movie theater while reminiscing about The Devil Wears Prada. Who knows? Maybe that's what we'll talk about next. All right. You're the bee's knees. I am going to see you tomorrow because we do this thing every single day. And I don't know if you've peeped, but we're very close to 100 days. Woo! I will be letting you know what we're going to do when we get there, but I don't know. I might have to do something on like all the lessons that I've learned. All right. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.